Hello to another math lesson. Today we're going to talk about types of slope, and I want you to be able to identify types of slope when we're all done with this lesson. I have a feeling you already know all of this, so this should be pretty easy if you've been doing all the lessons and trying really hard, and I know you have. So I wanted to introduce you to this little help sheet that I created a few years ago for my students and just explain it a little bit more. I have not done this in one of the lessons right now, showing you how to actually just get slope without doing this rise over run thing on a graph. A lot of students, I'm finding out, actually find it easier just to use this formula here. So that's what we're going to do at the beginning of this lesson, and then we'll talk about the types of slope. So as you can see, we have two coordinates, okay, 1, -5, and 0, -2. And you can see I've highlighted, color-coded everything. So our two y values are what we're going to subtract in the top. Our two x values are what we're going to subtract in the bottom. Big thing you have to remember about this is always start with the same coordinate points. See, this x and y belong together. All right, they come from the same one. So I use this one as that one. Okay, these are the two that I used first. If you see here, I used the y2 here, -5, came from this set. All right, and for the first x in the denominator, I took this x from this set. Okay, then all you have to do is then do your subtraction, and you get your slope, which is exactly the same slope that we got when we did it with rise over run by looking at the graph. So sometimes you're going to get coordinate points and not see the graph at all and need to figure out the slope. Let's go on. I'll show you some examples of that. So here's one. I've already graphed it. I've already put the points down. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take our two y's, all right, this one and this one. We're going to subtract them, just using this formula. And the same thing here with our two x's, all right? These two using this formula. So I've already written that up there for us. So this is the y, and this is the other y. Of course, these two are zeros. That makes it easy. So all we have to do at this point is do the subtraction. I don't know. Can we do this? I don't know. 1 minus 0. Ooh, toughie. I think it's 1. And 2 minus 0. Oh. I think it's 2. Yeah, we can do this. So what we get is a positive 1/2. And let me show you how, if we do rise over run, if we actually go from this point, we go up 1 and to the right 2 because it's positive. And we do get to the next one. And if we continue that idea, up 1 and over 2, we're going to get to another spot where our line crosses the crosshairs. Okay, I hope that wasn't too bad. Show me what you know on this one. Welcome to another math lesson. We're still talking about slope, and today's goal is to identify the types of slope. Before we get into types of slope, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about calculating slope so that it'll become easier for you. So far what we've talked about doing is using the rise over the run, actually starting at one dot, figuring out how far up or down, and then how far left or right, like this one. And when we did this one, we got 3 over -1, which is also -3. Okay, so the slope is -3 on this. Another way that we can do this is, as you can see up above, we have a little formula, a little way of figuring it out, where we take the two y values and subtract them and put them in the numerator, and then our x values and subtract them. And that would be our coordinate points. As you can see, I've color-coded everything. So I've taken the y from this set of points and put it here, and I've taken the y from the other set of points, -2 here, and I put it here, and I've subtracted them. -5 minus -2. And I've done the same thing with the x's. Always go back to the same coordinates. That's one mistake that is made a lot, is if you notice the -5 and the 1 come from the same set of coordinates, and they're above, one's above the other one. Okay, so that's a real important thing for you to remember. And then when you do your subtraction, if you notice here, we got minus a negative 2, we're going to add these two numbers because minus a negative gives us a positive. All right, so it's negative 5 plus 2. That's how we get the negative 3, which again, negative 3 over 1 is a slope of negative 3. Now, I know I said that a little fast. If it was a little fast for you, rewind and listen to it again. But we are going to go over this some more. For instance, here's one. I want to show you the type of slope I'm going to get out of this one. This is where we're going to practice figuring it out. But at the same time, I want you to notice whether these slopes are positive or negative, that kind of thing, when you're looking at those graphs. So if you're looking at this, I'm going to give you a second here. Do you think this is going to be a positive or a negative slope? Okay, so what I want to do is I want to set up the problem by using those coordinates, 2, 1, and 0, 0, and put them into that formula up there. And that's how we set it up. You can do it in either order. It doesn't matter. I could have done it 0 minus 1 and 0 minus 2. I just picked that one. I took the one with actual numbers to subtract. So I know it's really tough, right? 1 minus 0. Oh, that is, kill me now. It's too hard. It's just too hard. It's 1. And then, of course, 2 minus 0 is 2. Did you guess that it would be a positive slope? I hope so. So as you can see, if we were to do this as rise over 1, we would go up 1 and to the right 2. So you can see rise over 1 agrees. And even if we go up some more, up 1 over 2. And we can go down 1, which is a negative direction. And we would have to go then left, which is also a negative direction, negative 2, negative 1. And we're still on our same line. So however we choose to do it, we're going to get the right answer no matter what direction we head, as long as we keep on this one 2 positives or 2 negative numbers. Okay, pick out the answer to this one. You're going to need to set this one up. Okay, this is the exact same problem you just had on the last slide. Now I want you to actually give me the answer. Calculate this slope. All right, now this slope, if you notice, the last ones we were using went the other way. I've got this one going the opposite direction. Could that mean this is not a positive slope? Well, let's take a look. Again, we're going to take our 2 y values and subtract them and put that in the numerator. And we're going to take our 2 x values and subtract them and put them in the denominator. And here they are, already pre-done for us. I took the top number, the top coordinate right here, 1, and I'm subtracting negative 1. So here we go again with this, minus a negative. And then I took the negative 4 from here, and I'm subtracting the negative 2 from here. So again, we've got another minus a negative. So I'm just going to go through and turn those into pluses because I know I cannot leave them like that. That's just not how you do it. Minus a negative gives us a plus. It's because we've got the double negative right here. We talked about that early in the school year with our negatives. Okay, so we have 1 plus 1, which gives us 2. And down here we have negative 4 plus 2. Now remember, if our signs are different, we subtract and keep the sign of what looked like the bigger number at the beginning. All right, so the answer is going to be negative, and we're going to do 4 minus 2 to figure out that it is 2. Now we need to simplify. Have we talked about that this unit? Maybe not. We need to simplify. We have a minus, so I can leave that out front, but I've got 2 over 2, which gives us 1 over 1, which also gives us just a negative 1. So this is actually what we're looking for our final answer. Now let's see rise over run, how this works. Well, we would take, go in the go up 1, or go down 1, and then go left 1 or go right 1, depending. So we can only go in the negative direction on one of them, okay? One or the other of these two ones is going to be negative. So if I go up, that's a positive direction. Okay, that's a positive direction. Then I've got to go left. That's a negative direction. Then I can go up again. That's a positive direction. And I go left, and that's a negative direction. Notice it took me 2 tries to get to the other dot we had used. Well, now you think about it. If you think about it, I ended up with a fraction I had to simplify. That's why, because I had a dot in the middle between them that I could have used. I could have used this one, and I wouldn't have had to simplify. Just a little another tidbit for those of you who are catching on. Okay, now this is where we're going to get into some weird ones. Look at that one. That's a flat line. It's horizontal. Can we do this? Well, of course we can. I've identified 2 points, so we're going to do this. Here it is set up. Again, we take the 2 y's and we subtract, and we take the 2 x's and we subtract. I've done that. If you're not sure where they came from, pause me right now and take a good look. Make sure I did it right. Again, I've got negative, or I've got a, minus 1, minus a negative. So I'm going to turn those into pluses. And look what we get here. We got negative 1 plus 1. Whoa, that's a big old 0. I got nothing left. Nothing. And then down here I have 3 minus 2, which is 1. But does it really matter what my denominator is? No. If my numerator is 0, the slope is 0. This is horizontal lines. Slopes are 0. Okay? It is, that's just what it is. We just did it. I proved it. It is 0. Now I've got another weird one for you. This is a vertical line. What happens with a vertical line? What kind of a slope is that? Well, we're going to, again, do the exact same thing. Take our numbers, take our coordinates, and we're going to put them into the formula and do the subtraction. So here we go. I'm going to show you what this gets. So we've got 3 minus a negative 3. So I'm going to do this whole, turning it into a plus. 3 plus 3 is 6. Now down here we've got negative 3 minus a negative 3. So we've got, right here, turn those into pluses. Negative 3 plus 3. Uh-oh, we got a problem. There's a problem here, Houston. We've got a 0 in the denominator. Oh, no. That cannot happen. That is very bad. So what does that mean to us for our slope? Well, what that means is no slope, which is different than 0 slope. Not the same thing, because this is vertical, right? No slope, undefined. All right? No slope or undefined. That's what happens when we get a vertical number. Okay, so here's just a real simple sheet that shows you the 4 types of slope. We have our positives, we have our negatives, we have our 0, and we have our undefined or no slope. Let me give you another sheet that might help you remember them. This one's a little more fun. So here we got a little story going on. The positive slope, as you're getting ready to go skiing, you're going up the hill and you're saying to yourself, I am positive this is going to be fun. I'm going to like this. And you get to the top and you're kind of, this is pretty flat. This is not exciting at all. I'm not having a lot of fun. In fact, it's a lot of work. It's just a 0 fun. But then I get to the next edge and I'm going to go down. And it's fun, but oh wait, it might be too much fun. This is really killing me. I start having some doubts. So it becomes negative. And then we get to the point where it's a major cliff and we're crashing and we're no longer in existence. We're undefined. Crash! Okay, I know. That was silly. But you get the idea. Hopefully that'll help you. Here's another one. If you're not into the silliness of the last one, here's another help sheet that might help you a little bit more when you see these. Positive, negative, and 0 and no slope. All right, number 3, your turn. Number 4, your turn again. Number 5. Number 6, last question. Phew, we did it. And hopefully nobody fell off a cliff anywhere. I hope